And this debate over critical race theory, a big portion of last week's Harford County Public Schools board meeting.
Yeah, while the topic was not on the agenda, several parents and community members came to protest the teaching of critical race theory in classrooms. Some called on the school district's manager of equity and cultural proficiency to resign. Dr. Paula Stanton gave a presentation last month detailing the school's plan for culturally responsive teaching and added that critical race theory was not being taught in the county public school classrooms. But parents at the July 12th meeting disagreed.
Well, tonight, WMAR2 News' Megan Knight is putting critical race theory and the situation in Harford County in focus for us.
I think that, and what I've heard from parents is that they do not want young children, elementary, middle school, even high school kids being taught that because of an immutable characteristic like skin color, you are either one thing or another thing.
Delegate Lauren Arcon's district includes parts of Harford County. She says she has concerns about Harford County Public Schools offering what they're calling culturally responsive teaching. Arcon and Delegate Kathy Schlega, who also represents parts of Harford County, say some parents have voiced concerns to them that students are being taught critical race theory, and they're asking the school system for more information.
Asking for the county to release all the information and documents relating to culturally responsive teaching so that we can get a real grasp of what is happening in our classroom.
But critical race theory in practice looks a little different, according to the executive director of the Reginald F. Lewis Museum.
It's the idea is not that you are teaching anything that doesn't exist. It's just that you're teaching the full picture.
Delegate Arcon argues the opposite.
I wish it was broader, but my problem with it is the exact opposite, that it's really narrow and very tailored.
University of Baltimore law professor GILDA Daniels gave us a definition of critical race theory.
Critical race theory lets us look at law and history and socioeconomics and other facets of our lives through the prism of race.
She says it's a concept that's been around since the 1970s.
The definition of critical race theory has not changed over the years. What has changed is certainly the way that it has been most recently politicized and weaponized to mean something that it absolutely is not.
But some parents are worried about how this understanding of history will make their children feel.
I try to think of this as I'm protecting my child because I don't want them to feel any guilt. But at the same time, we're not allowing our children to really understand this nation that they live in and how our society has developed over time.
But to understand our present, we must understand our past.
The history can inform the present. It can help us understand who we are and why the present looks like it did. And, if we're fortunate, help us avoid the mistakes of the past.
I'm Megan Knight with WMAR2 News.
Now, at the center of the critical race theory debate, how students will internalize the lessons. But as Harford County Public Schools parents call for resignations, students in the district are looking at an even bigger picture and creating spaces for students to talk about equity. MICHAELA Blackburn will start 8th grade in the fall, but has already started an extracurricular group at Bel Air Middle School, Voices of Equity.
It's a safe space for students to share things that they've either witnessed or has happened to them, and we'll try and come up with solutions to prevent it from happening again or happening to someone else.
Nia Robinson is a rising senior at Harford Technical High School and joined her school's Voices of Equity Club.
We don't judge what others say, we don't judge what others feel. And we don't kind of bring politics in it and just talk about that. It's very much wanting to speak about ourselves and how we feel, and making sure that if someone feels a certain way, they have a space to speak about it.
To hear more from MICHAELA and Nia and to learn more about Voices of Equity, visit our website at WMAR2news.com.